Six people are arrested in a drug smuggling operation. The U.S. District Attorney's Office says the six are accused of using a commercial charter bus to transport liquid meth from Mexico to Emporia, Kansas. 5 of the 6 arrested were living in Emporia. 2 of them were in the country illegally. The Department of Justice says between March and April of this year, Border Patrol noted the bus making multiple crossings into the U.S. from Mexico, carrying few or no passengers at all. During an inspection, a substance in a gas tank tested is liquid meth. A man is sentenced in the death